Good afternoon. You are welcome to Nigeria now here on Eka Television International. So a lot has been going on in Nigeria. We are seeing the tax reform bills and its saga up and down, the chaos, the backlash, the dispute between the House of Senate, the House of Representatives, and what the northern leaders are saying about the tax reform and recent development about and around the tax reform bills. Also, we are seeing some statement, a new statement coming from the IGP talking about the justice system of the country where it is at the moment, and so many other things unfolding in Nigeria that we are going to be discussing today. And by we, I mean myself, Rachel, alongside Sambo Solomon. Good to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure, Rachel.
It's nice. It's been a while, but it's good to have
Yeah,
you
it is.
today.
It is. It's been a while, really.
And we have so much to talk about,
Hmm.
very important things. And I'd like us to start, first of all, with the statement from the IGP of the police. I mean, if we have the Inspector General of the police coming out to say our justice system is sick
Hmm.
and corrupt,
Hmm.
from the man heading one of the security agencies of the country, the top, of course, we're looking at the big ones, because after the military, I think, is the police. In fact, the police is bigger because it deals with the civilian, and
Hmm.
then it's only when there are crucial and critical issues before the military steps in. But the police goes about every day-to-day activity
Hmm.
of the Nigerian people and the government and all of that. So we can, if we were to rank it, we would say perhaps it's number one before the military. But to have no dispute between any security
Hmm.
agency, let's
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
leave
Hmm.
every agency at its particular position
Hmm.
and just say, well, if the IGP is coming out and putting it as a confession and saying, you know what, the Nigerian justice system is corrupt and is sick. Not only are we facing corruption, but it is also sick. And then we have CRAN coming out to say, you know what, one of the major problems is, and I hope I can pronounce it properly, is that the system is having recidivism, where a criminal is most likely, after released,
Hmm.
going to do the same crime again, commit the same offense
Hmm.
or something like that. And I know it's not a problem. This particular one is not a problem only in Nigeria,
Hmm.
because criminals often go back to their crime.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
normal all around the country. But what are we going to say concerning the corruptness and the sickness of the justice system?
Well, Rachel, I'm happy that this confession is coming uh, at this time, this regime. You know, um, how do I mean? You know, every government that is coming, you know, already have an idea of what exactly she wants to do. If you remember, at some point, in this country, people were saying like this government don't even have an idea
Mm.
of why they're here,
Yes.
what their plans are, and what they want to do, and you know, and then from campaign speeches, when our president Bola Ahmed Tinubu saying he's going to build from where his predecessor, stop. All the
Yes,
controversies,
around that. Mhm.
around that,
Yes.
you know. But you see, I am happy because this government now already have an idea how Nigerians are feeling,
Yeah.
what they are going through. It's just for them to strategize and then to approach all these issues, with wisdom,
Mm.
and then be able to conquer. One of it is corruption.
It is.
Corruption is one of the things that you can say even other countries, can easily tag us with. Once you say you are Nigeria, the
Mm-hmm.
first thing that comes to their mind,
Yeah.
if you are visiting them or you are introducing yourself as a Nigeria, the first thing they think, oh wow, we have one corrupt person around us. You understand?
Yes.
And that's the reason why Nigerians face all manner of ill treatment when they travel abroad. That means issue of corruption is not a news.
It's not.
It's not. But you see, why did I say I'm excited? Because it's coming from a point of taking responsibility.
True.
And through the leadership comes with taking responsibility. If the Inspector General of Police will open his mouth and say that, and
Yeah.
he's part of this government.
He's part of the
You
justice
understand?
system.
You understand? You
Yes.
understand my preamble. And
Yes.
he's part of this government, and it's Tinubu that appoints him,
Mm.
right? And he's coming out to say this is what he feels about our justice system. Then I would say kudos to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because we always cry that we need to fight corruption in this country, because corruption is the reason why we are where we are in the community of nations. If not for corruption, Nigerians would have been a place that the world can come and learn. Because what is it that we don't have as a country? We have virtually everything.
Yes.
And I watched one video from someone from Middle East when they were asking. He said Nigerians are blessed with virtually everything except leaders.
Mm.
You know, the clip is there, is out there. It has been viral. You know, at one point like that. You know, so if it's coming from a leader like that, then that means this government are ready to do something.
Yes.
It's not just coming from confession, but what are you doing as the number one in that sector? Because I remember in this country there was one survey that they did between police, NEPA then, and one other organization. I forgot. But I think at that time, the Nigerian police were the one topping, then followed by NEPA.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it generated a lot of, argument here and there. And you know how the police force is. They are the direct people, that you deal with that deals with the civilians day in, day out. And you know how somebody will just be picked at home and then locked up, or from there take you to prison, give you false accusation just to take you off. All of these things are happening. But if the number one in the police is saying this, then I think this administration is thinking towards making things right.
Yeah.
So now it's for the presidency, to help the police do the right thing.
The right thing, yeah.
To help the justice system do the right thing. If you see now, now they are saying, that 300% increment for judiciary and the rest, that some people were saying, no, it's just a bribe because of what happened in 2023 general election, and so on and so on. A lot of controversy around that. But to me, I say it's fine. If you're looking after their welfare, you are trying to tell them from now henceforth, anything that happens and you don't have a right to say it's because the government are not looking towards your welfare, and that's why all of these things are happening, in the judiciary. So now the government is trying to make sure that you are comfortable so that you will do the right thing.
Yes.
You understand? So I just feel that if we begin to hear our leaders talking this way, then I will say there is hope for Nigeria. There is hope for Nigeria. So it's less for the government to really work hard and to see how we'll put things right, and then this country will work for better.
I really love the angle you came in from, because just as you made mention, if the IGP is coming out, for me, the word I would have used is implicative, because he's now implicating himself because he is part of the justice system. Because we have the police, we have the customs, we have the NSCDC, we have we have the prisons, that is the correctional system. Every other person that is in charge of bringing crime out. Now, that is the first step of the judiciary system, and the police is top of it, because you know what, the police it should be able, for example, what I'm saying is the number one when it comes to the judiciary, in as much as we judges perhaps past the final sentence or anything, but it starts with the police. Are you arresting the right criminal, or are you being bribed to leave the real criminal and then go for the innocent person? Because who you bring to the court is who the judge passes a sentence to. So it starts from you. Even when it comes to money laundering and all of that, there's all of those in the books for the police. Then when it gets to a certain level of investigation, you pass them to the appropriate body. Is it for drugs? You pass them to an NDLEA. Is it a financial crime? You pass them to the EFCC. But there is no criminal aspect that the police cannot start or be in charge of. Therefore, just as you made mention, taking responsibility, because if you say the judiciary system is corrupt, you are saying that, you know what, the police is corrupt and I am corrupt. And then the question we want to leave the police force and the IGP is, what are you doing about it? Since you're able to take the bold step of saying, you know what, the system in which I operate in is corrupt, starting with me, starting with every agency around it, down to the topmost part of it, the court system, the judge system, the sentences, however it's put in whatever law terms that I'm not using right now, is where it starts with me, because I bring the criminal to the court and the courts take it from there. What am I doing to make sure that the system begins to heal, and that the corruptness at my own level is reduced to a very huge, yes, exactly. Now we'll move on to the tax reform bills. It's buzzing. I don't think it's about to go down anytime soon, until we have it as a bill, until all the gray areas are looked into and all of that. But I'd just like us to focus a little bit on, you know, what we had yesterday in the news against what we are having today, where that the reading or the hearing have been suspended, and then that a committee have been set up to meet the Attorney General of the Federation. Now I'm putting it to the side of the justice. In as much as that didn't make sense, because how is that even going to work? We have a bill. Where does the justice system come into a bill reading and passage, and the things that are supposed to be done are not done, and that the committee is being done? And today we are coming out and seeing that the Senate president is saying, you know what, this tax reform bill hearing is still ongoing. Is not, there's no committee, anything. I'm not accepting that from the vice president, or yes, the vice Senate president, and all of that is still ongoing. Is Mr. President, this is an executive bill. It is not going anywhere except if the president himself comes out and say, you know what, I am withdrawing my bill. But as far as this bill is concerned, it has passed the second reading, and I think it's up to the third and then the final reading thereabout. Rather than all of this back and forth, what would you like to see from our lawmakers, talking about from the red chamber and the green chamber? What is the better approach do you expect as a Nigerian citizen towards these tax reform bills?
Well, I went through it briefly, and I saw I saw I think some few adjustment, you know, that this new regime is trying to bring, you know, to this tax bill. You know, in the total package, you know, you have four main bills. You know, in it, the tax bill, the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, and then Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill. And then each bill, here you're talking about the tax administration and compliance, and then enforcement. And then you have the exemption for low income earners. You have the harmonization of the tax administration. You have the creation of the Nigerian Revenue service. Then you have the reduction of tax burden, and then you have the derivation of the principal in VAT revenue,
Yeah. Sharing.
distribution or
Yes.
sharing. You understand? So quickly you can say this is what the whole bill entails.
Yes.
But let's even ask, why the back and forth?
Why?
What is the problem of the bill? For me, number one, I would say, okay, it's a good bill. Yes, definitely when bills like this come to the floor, definitely you'll find this argument. Even if the bill is good, you will have those that
Yes.
will say nay.
True.
Even if the bill is not a good one for the masses, you will have those that will say aye.
True.
I hope you get my point.
Yes.
You have those that will say aye, and at the end of the day, you will end up find that the ayes will always have it, even if the bill is not friendly.
Yes.
And even if the bill is friendly to the masses, you still have those that will say nay. So here, if you are lucky, it goes through.
Yeah.
If you are not lucky, no matter how good it is, the majority will always have their way. But if you look at the back and forth, it's all, I would say, is this derivation and principle of sharing when it comes to VAT.
Yes.
That's where the whole issue is. Take it or leave it. You understand? Because when you talk about harmonization, and then the bill is talking about this issue of double taxing, and for this country, so many people have been complaining about this double taxation. This person is taxing you, this person is taxing you,
Yes.
and at the end of the day, you find that the tax is heavy. And then when you talk about economy, you are an economist. You understand. You know how a heavy tax can affect
Of course.
all these small scale industries.
Businesses, yeah.
You understand? It will just choke them, and that's why some of them will just die
True.
and will not thrive. So why are they saying this? It's because now what the tax is saying, where these VATs are being collected, that means where it's being consumed the more, they should be given priority.
Yeah.
And we know what we collect tax on in this country. Some people are saying those things are prohibited in their places, in their states, but they enjoy the tax.
The tax.
You understand? So this time around, whenever and that's when you get the chunk of the tax that is coming in,
Yeah.
and it is being shared, let's say equally.
Equally.
In some cases, because the law says based on population.
Yes.
So there's every possibility you see that the revenue will be more generated in Lagos,
Yeah.
but
And
Kano
Kano is taking the bigger percentage.
bigger percentage,
Yeah.
and what is being consumed there, they are not consuming in Kano. Just example,
Yes.
right?
I get, yeah.
So now they are saying, okay, if this is more consumed here, then they should be given the right and the privilege to have the chunk part of the revenue for them to put it back to get more revenue.
Yeah.
So what are we saying here? That means it will create, it will make the state to step up,
Of course.
to be innovative,
Yes.
to see how they can spring up industry and then increase their production and consumption, so that them too can benefit from that. You understand?
Yes.
So I feel that's where the problem is. So now the narrative out there is that, okay, they want to derive the north from getting from the central pause.
Yeah.
You understand? Is a strategy for the southerners to deprive the north and the rest. One thing that is lacking, a proper communication to the masses about even the bill. Now, who is explaining what the bill is all about to the
Nobody
people?
is, yeah.
And that's why some people are taking advantage of it to blackmail some people.
Yeah.
So I think the National Orientation Agency has a lot to do.
You do.
They have to come in
Yeah.
and explain what is the meaning of this executive bill and how it's going to affect the masses. And then you see in this, the we have waivers for the low income earners. Anybody that is earning below minimum wage,
Yeah.
you know, there is going to be a waiver that cut across the country.
Even if you're earning minimum wage is 70, if at the end of the year your annual income is not up to 1 million, you are literally exempted from
Exempted.
it, because this minimum wage is like the basic
Yes.
of our income. Other allowances, it means if you have to follow your basic at 70,000, other allowances should begin to give you over 100,000. So automatically, until while we have people that are earning only just exactly that minimum wage,
Yes.
automatically they can't even pay this tax, because now you are below the annual payment level for
Yes.
this tax.
Yes, and you're
Yes.
talking about industries, those that are trying to spring up. If your annual annual income is not about is not above rather 50 million,
Yes.
you are exempted.
You are.
That means it's giving you time
To grow
to
as
grow.
a business, to I mean, you know, we've been talking about this tax reform, and more than anything, what bothers me is that every opposition for this tax reform bill sounds more selfish than logical. It sounds more from a selfish angle than, you know what, this really is a problem and let's tackle it this way and that. Because why are you not bringing factual reasons to say,
That's my
okay,
point.
fine, if you take away this percentage and that percentage from us, this is what the North have been able to put in this and that, and if you're taking this away from us, it means we'll not be able to fund this and that. Therefore, why don't we review it? And fine, we agree to this, but take away this percentage, put this percentage and that. But nobody is doing this, and it will only show your flaws as a government. Because why are you not generating certain revenue in a certain angle? Fine, you are not consuming certain beverages that is bringing higher value added. However, there are other taxes and revenue that your region could be topping, but you're not doing anything about it, because you are relaxed that, you know what, there's another region making so much for you to continue in your bit of laziness. And therefore, I more than anything, I wouldn't sit down and say it is a perfect bill, but why are we not trying to make it perfect? Why are we, you know, turning it upside down, like you largely said, where we need orientation concerning this? Because people need to understand that this reform bill is not targeting anybody, but it's a way forward to certain problems as far as our tax system is concerned in the country. And more than anything, I think our northern leaders, because the opposition is coming largely from them, is going to show their flaws, is going to show how they have kept their people in poverty. And the federal government has nothing to do with this current problem. If for some reason you've not been doing your homework and all of a sudden there's a change in the system that would affect you because you've not done your work, you cannot blame the government for that or try to stir up hate and all of that. I think our leaders at every level need to wake up, and more than anything, this tax reform is telling them that, and they are finding it a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah,
Literally.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, you see, this bill is there. It has gone through the second reading. Now it's the third reading. I think it will cross. When it get there, it's either you are for it
Or not.
or not.
Yes.
And the majority will have their way.
Yes.
I think it's as simple as
It's
that.
as
But
simple as
I
that.
feel they shouldn't create any hate.
Immunity between regions and all of that.
Honestly,
Yes.
it's going to be uncalled for, and it's not going to be healthy for this country. I feel it's a good bill that should be supported, you know, and I feel the National Assembly should do well, or the presidency, because it is an executive bill. Do your possible best and make sure that you sensitize people about the beauty of the bill and what the bill is going to tackle.
Yeah.
And this one is an eye-opener. I'm happy it's coming at this time,
Yeah.
that our northern leaders that kept us, you know, in this particular position for long,
yeah.
you know, will wake up. And then for the voters, now you will know, you know, the kind of leaders that you will vote for them to work for you, to give you an advantage when it comes to, you know, discussing on the national table.
Yeah, I mean, quickly before we go, with the
Yes.
few minutes we have left, you know, though it kind of correlate with the first thing we talked about, it's an entirely different story. It's still about our justice system. And then recently we have an activist being arrested. We are looking at Dele Farotimi here,
Farotimi.
and concerning a book which he published. And then, I mean, the title of the book already doesn't sound nice, Nigeria and its criminal justice system. However, I think the book would have gone scot-free. It has become bestseller on Amazon. And of course, this is an independent publishing site where solo you can just write the book, put it out there, and then it will sell. And that's even another scary part or annoying part or whatever emotion is attached to this kind of publishing in the first place, because now as a result of this book out there, we are seeing a lot of defamation of character. And then we have Afe Babalola coming out to say that, you know what, in this book my character have been defamed by this author, saying a lot of things about certain disputes that took place some years ago. And then now he moved for his arrest. He's on detention. And then we have other activists coming out now. As much as this book is not just for one person, it's about the Nigerian system and its criminal justice system. Now, already putting out a book like that to the world, we're talking about Amazon here. So it's not only Nigerians that get access to this book. So is anybody out there reading it and seeing our corrupt system? Already, I think not only Afe Babalola, if the Nigerian government wants to take up this book against these activists, they can, because there are certain kind of content that could go within us, but when you take it internationally, you cannot present our system that way, regardless of our struggle, because you know what, even the American justice system has its own fair share of corruption and shady deals. Is there a system in the world that doesn't have it? But do we realize that they portray themselves differently to the world, and where we can deal with our problems inside our country how we want to, but reverse is the case here. However, for me, I mean, all of this, the question is, do Nigerians need any protest right now? I mean, and the protests have to be for one person who decided to write a book to defame some other people. And we're seeing Sore alongside other activists. And it's not only Sore, we have other groups like Huriwa coming out to say, you know what, he shouldn't be detained. Maybe he shouldn't be detained, but do we need a protest at this moment? And more than anything, even if the country needs a protest, is it on such, or do we have more pressing issues that could be the way we could rally ourselves and we could let our voices be heard regarding what is happening in the country?
Honestly, Rachel, we don't need a protest. No, we have so many pressing issues that we're supposed to come together with one voice as Nigerians,
True.
and then we'll push it, and it worked for us. Even the Nigerian justice system that you're talking about, all Nigerians, we know that the system, not until now that we see leaders coming, just like the IGP, you know, coming to say the system is corrupt, you know, that is another boost for the common man to say, okay, yes, what we have been saying now, the leaders are admitting. That's, like I said earlier, is a step of taking responsibility and then doing the right thing, right? I don't think we should go for protest. Now we're talking of the justice system. That's the justice system. Take its place. Someone laid a complaint, right?
Yes.
To someone that he feels deform his character.
Yeah.
So what is the justice system saying? What are our laws saying concerning such? So you allow the system to run.
True.
That's just it.
If you say,
if you say you're an activist, you know what the law says. What does the law say about this?
Exactly.
Then you allow the law to take its place.
True.
So if the law goes otherwise, then perhaps the Bible, I almost say the Bible, his book will be justified.
True.
Do you understand? It's a
Yeah.
simple logic.
Simple,
It's a simple
simple.
logic.
Yes,
So
yes.
let them just
Let's,
take it low, and then let's
yes.
see what the justice system.
True. Thank you so much,
Maybe it
Solomon.
will prove him
Maybe
right or wrong.
wrong.
The
Yes,
how the
eventually.
justice system will handle his issue.
Yes. Thank you, Sambu Solomon,
You're
for
welcome.
doing this with me. And thank you to all of you out there for watching Nigeria Now here on Echo Television International. Till we come your way next week, do have a wonderful weekend.